In public schools, it is widely taught that we evolved from some ape-like ancestor, but is there a missing link in this evolutionary puzzle? This question has been at the forefront of anthropology for years. There exists a sizable, unbridged gap in the fossil evidence when tracing our supposed evolution from chimp-like primates. Anthropologist Ian Tattersall, curator emeritus with the American Museum of Natural History, stated, "Something extraordinary, if totally fortuitous, happened with the birth of our species. Homo sapiens is as distinctive an entity as exists on the face of the earth." He also highlighted that there's no evidence supporting the idea that we gradually morphed into who we inherently are today, physically or intellectually. Many more quotes from other leading paleoanthropologists can also be found stating essentially the same thing as Ian Tattersall does. This unbridged gap leaves a significant void in our understanding of human evolution, a void that begs to be filled if the narrative of human evolution is to be considered true. To bridge this gap, the narrative often turns to our closest extinct relatives, the Neanderthals. Neanderthals, once viewed as the missing link in our evolutionary journey, but are they really? Let's delve into the fascinating narrative surrounding these ancient beings. A captivating 2019 article titled "The Evolution of Neanderthal Spin" offers a unique perspective. You see, Darwinism, in the quest to map the evolution of man from chimp-like primates to Homo sapiens, encountered a formidable chasm in the fossil record. And who better to fill this gap than our intriguing friends, the Neanderthals? Initially, many scientists were quick to assume that Neanderthals were the missing evolutionary link. They were thought to be less evolved, more primitive. However, as the narrative was spun, it became clear that these so-called cavemen were anything but cooperative in fitting this mold. In a fascinating turn of events, the Neanderthals refused to stoop. In fact, they stood tall, with an average brain size even larger than modern humans. And the fossil record? It caught them red-handed, behaving in ways strikingly similar to intelligent humans. So where did the image of the primitive Neanderthal originate? The narrative was largely influenced by the work of a French paleoanthropologist, Marcelin Boule. A pioneer in his field, Boule chose to emphasize the primitive characteristics of Neanderthals. He concluded that Neanderthals walked with a hunched posture and had divergent big toes, signs of a more primitive life form. Yet looking back, we can see the inherent bias in these conclusions. Today, we paint a different picture of Neanderthals. We acknowledge their culture, their ability to bury their dead, and their mastery over fire. We've even found evidence of interbreeding between Neanderthals and early humans, suggesting a level of kinship that was previously unimagined. The image of Neanderthals as primitive and less evolved was largely influenced by one scientist's perspective. But as we continue to unearth evidence, it becomes clear that Neanderthals were far more human-like than we ever thought possible. And that, my friends, is the true spin of the Neanderthal narrative. To repeat, Marcelin Boule, a French paleoanthropologist, largely shaped our perceptions of Neanderthals. But was his depiction accurate? Boule, a leading figure in paleoanthropology during the early 20th century, painted a picture of Neanderthals that was, in hindsight, rather biased. He focused on their primitive characteristics, suggesting they walked with a hunched posture and had divergent big toes, traits we often associate with apes. This portrayal cast Neanderthals as brutish savages, a stereotype that has endured for over a century. But as the saying goes, times change. And with time, our understanding of Neanderthals has also changed. New discoveries and improved analytical tools have helped us see these ancient beings in a different light. We've found evidence of their ability to create fire, their ritualistic burial practices, and other signs of cultural sophistication. All of these point to a level of intelligence that was previously overlooked or dismissed. And then there's the argument put forth by Casey Luskin in his November 2023 article, "Were Neanderthals and humans the same species?" He highlights the stereotype of Neanderthals as intellectual dunces compared to modern humans, a view that's been challenged by mounting evidence. Luskin doesn't assert this claim dogmatically, acknowledging the ongoing debates about the nature of Neanderthal culture. But he does make a compelling case for the essential similarity between humans and Neanderthals, based on genetics, body structure, and archaeological evidence. This shift in perception doesn't just change how we see Neanderthals, it also changes how we see ourselves. It challenges the narrative of human evolution, the idea that we gradually became who we are today from some chimp-like primate. The evidence suggests that Neanderthals, rather than being primitive precursors, were much more like us than we initially thought. So in conclusion, the large unbridged gap in the fossil evidence when tracing our supposed evolution from chimp-like primates remains. And with these recent findings suggesting that Neanderthals and humans might very well have been the same species, it can be argued that the large unbridged gap between apes and man has grown even larger.